Okie dokie, hello everyone. This is Batman and Mr. Freeze in Subzero, a movie, a movie I first saw as a child and recently watched for the first time since childhood, probably because somehow I was not able to track down the DVD or and not having a television. I could not watch it on a television, but I'm not sure if it is even being repeated on any channels, but anyway, I think I was very young when I first saw it, and when I last saw it, yeah, a great passage of time was present. Great passage of time was, but never mind. Yeah, so a bit of duality there. Yeah, so I was so eager to watch it again. It features Batman, of course, Mr. Freeze, and Nora, his wife, some business associates. But the point was, I was going to point out it also features Robin, not Tim Drake, Robin, the one who was traumatized by Joker. Spoiler alert. As discovered through a flashback in Batman Beyond, the Return of Joker. But also Batgirl, obviously Jim Gordon's daughter, and she gets kidnapped. So that she is a sort of a MacGuffin, sort of, kind of. Anyway, oh sorry, hello, yes. I do too. I enjoy talking to myself as well. Yes. I'm in the middle of a review, sort of summary. Okay, can you call me back sometime next century, please? Okay, bye, thank you. Sorry, phone call. Yeah, so it is a really good movie. Stop calling me. So I'm doing a Sean McAuliffe. Yeah, it is a very good movie. Featuring I realised, but this was sort of, well, it is coincidental because it is cold. Okay, that fits in with the theme. But I've been meaning to do this review for some time before the temperature dropped. But by coincidence, I mean, of course, I am referring to the Batman jumper. I always wear it, as everybody can attest to. I always wear this jumper when cold and even when not so cold. So but I realise it is very appropriate. So just in case you thought this was some sort of subliminal messaging or not so subliminal messaging to have you buy Batman related products and I earn a commission or something. No, this is not. This is not such a thing. I always wear this jumper, and you can buy your own at amazon.co.uk/Batman. No, stop calling me. Okay, write your complaints via letter form, not phone. Okay, start writing those letters. Batman and Mr. Freeze. Where are we? Where's the Wikipedia to jog my memory? Where are you? There we go. It was released in the 1990s. It was actually delayed a little because of the George Clooney Batman film, also featuring Mr. Freeze, much more comical rather than tragic expression, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, that film has a sort of a legendary status in its own way. They moved away from Tim Burton's more serious films and went for something stranger, and that's not in a necessarily good way. But it had some good parts to it. So it's a sequel, they say, to the film Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, but there is continuity. They're continuing the growth of the characters and so forth. Second film based on Batman the animated series. By the way, Mr. Freeze is voiced by the quite famous Michael Ansara, who of course you will know from Babylon 5. He voiced one of the Techno Mages, so you have that classic voice. And also Michael, of course, returned for Batman Beyond, or as we know it, or first knew it as in the UK, Batman of the Future. But yeah, produced by Warner Brothers Animation, a tie-in with Batman and Robin, marketing tie-in, of course. No kind of tie-in, they're completely different films, shall we say. Um, yeah, so Victor Fries made a home for himself in an Arctic cave. There's this, yeah, San Kunak who has some sort of, I suppose, loyalty toward Mr. Freeze. And yeah, the two polar bears. Nora is still in a cryogenic chamber. He's seeking a cure for her. Of course, it is a very tragic story. A submarine surfaces through the frozen floor of the cave, shattering Nora's containment vessel and causing her to rapidly deteriorate. Um, and basically, Freeze returns to Gotham City, and he needs to find a donor. And you see Mr. Freeze's desperation quite early on, because it is a no matter the cost thing. There is a genuine love. At some point, people say this is obsession. This is where I get very annoyed, because there is nothing about love that means the expression has to be pure. This is where people misunderstand, because in that sense, although it is much more complicated, than being a motive, love in this sense is a motive, a trigger. There's nothing to say that bad people are not capable of love, or love cannot have people do bad things in a way, depending on it, because obviously there's still responsibility. It is not love, this mysterious force which has to be put on trial. It is the person. But the point being, people would say, oh, this is an obsession because he's harming someone, and he probably was obsessed in some ways clinically, but no, it clearly was love. That would be the only thing pushing him to do this, because it is the strength of love, and at some point it breaks the character when they're, yeah, and this is where people say it is an obsession, because they think about people keeping that fierce loyalty and desperation and all those other things, but you're basically just describing love. So just because he was capable of loving Nora, that does not mean that he's not capable of doing wrong, because clearly kidnapping, I should hope people are aware of this, clearly kidnapping people is wrong regardless of the laws in your country. Kidnapping people is morally wrong, so I'm quite sure you are aware of that. I would hope so anyway. But he clearly did love Nora, and that was what was driving him. So yeah, this always annoys me. People try to they simplify love. They try to turn it into a where if you really loved someone, you would never hurt them. But I mean, where to begin with that? It's usually quite often people do genuinely love people, end up hurting them in all sorts of ways. And it does not justify, or it does not exonerate them. You have to separate. You have to understand that the love can be a push, an incredible driving force, because it has you remain fixated on the goal. You do not give up on the goal, the person, the cause, but you may do horrible things along the way which are horrible no matter how justified you feel you are. Like Mr. Freeze obviously feels justified. He was capable of doing horrible things, terrifying things. So it really is in a sense, a story about the definition of love in a way, in some ways. Or a brief overview, but yeah. Anyway, so obviously he's gone way off track. He's determined that Nora must live no matter the cost, but he's willing to do horrible things. So he is capable of being very, very menacing and deadly. Yeah. So Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, is kidnapped. And obviously Robin, Dick Grayson, Robin, as I say, not Tim Drake, Robin, Dick Grayson, and Batman are going to try and rescue her. So obviously there's detective skills involved. I mean, Freeze himself and an associate were looking into a computer, so, you know, an American equivalent to the NHS sort of thing, looking for, well, it was only Gotham. They were only looking into very local matches, actually, Gotham patients, but yeah, and Batman ends up hacking into the computer or just accessing. Yeah, so he's willing to kill someone. So this is his desperation. Barbara Gordon, of course, is found to be a perfect match for the coincidence. She's on a date and she's kidnapped. Yeah, she's taken to an abandoned oil platform. Oil. Oil, fire, explosion. Well, you can see where this is going. Anyway, they deceive her. They say it is just a simple blood transfusion. Barbara reluctantly agrees to help. But anyway, yeah, they start to put the clues together, and Blue's Clues. Hello? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes, yes. I suppose it is a copyright infringement, but yes, I suppose this is the part where I tell you I don't actually care. Okay. Well, if you're going to adopt that tone, that's a bit. Not sure if that's even possible, but okay, okay, fine, okay, bye. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, yeah. So they arrive in a battering. They confront Freeze and Belson. Of course, let's start shooting their fuel tanks, the classic scenario. But again, people will be stupid enough to do that, so they get lost in rage. So we talk about it being very convenient, but that's people are idiots. Most humans are idiots, to be quite blunt. We see it every day, and all of us are capable of being idiotic. So that could easily happen. Some idiots would do that. So that is actually quite believable. People not aware of science and stuff, basic science. But one of my favourite parts is it continues the complexity because Freeze is injured and classic Batman storytelling, they do not escape and say that is the end of it. Okay, I watched the Batman and Superman crossover recently with Raish, and they kind of leave Raish to look for his daughter Talia, and Batman and Superman are sort of looking on. But I'm sure they tried. Superman did say he was he was pondering about where the ravine or river or something went, and wondering whether or not they survived. But but usually in Batman, he's always Batman is about rehabilitation, even to the extent of trying to rehabilitate Joker. Although he is violent, Batman is actually violent. Batman tends to be portrayed as this extreme pacifist, but also this extremely desperate person who's very menacing, and they both are true. Although he's not really an extreme pacifist, but he is in terms of the long term game and not wanting to kill, not wanting to harm, but he's willing to cross lines that say Superman may not. Batman is in some ways flexible, but not necessarily with his morality directly, but maybe more with his strategy. But perhaps like with Victor Freeze, his passion will then have him do things he would rather not have done. But so you can see how that is ingrained within Batgirl and Robin. Everybody's trying to help Freeze, this person who's trying to murder Batgirl. Barbara Gordon had caused so much pain, frozen people to their deaths, presumably. And here they are trying to help him. They see someone suffering and they go to help him. So there is that clear pacifistic bent. His leg is broken. They try to rescue him, but he says take the others to safety first. Again, he may have been thinking about Nora, or Batgirl needs to survive because she's a match, even though I'm sure he has reason by now, or if you search beyond Gotham there will be other matches, but so maybe he's thinking about Nora, but yeah, he wanted they to survive, and obviously and everything goes up in flames quite really, and but at the end we see a news report where we find, of course, the Wayne Enterprises has actually revived Nora. They've actually done it. Why they could not have done that before, I do not know. But he was hiding her in some secret place. But that's why he complicates things. Although Batman is the world's greatest detective. But anyway, she's revived, and they lament the news reporter. She's lamenting how he would not live to see this. Victor Fries would not live to see. But of course, walking outside of this little hut or cabin is Mr. Fries smiling. His dream had come true. So it is a bittersweet story. And it served well by the voice acting, of course. The late Kevin Conroy was, of course, voicing Batman. There was a different voice actress for Batgirl, because the actress was doing something else, I think, at the time, so they brought somebody else in. And as I've mentioned, Michael and Sarah voices Victor Fries. So yeah, the animation was good, very good. The CGI, there was some very interesting CGI going on. What year was this again? I think it started with the submarine, so release date 1998, but it was pushed back, so it was actually created before March the 17th, 1998 by quite some, was it by a year or so? There we go, completed in 1997. Yeah, there was some very interesting CGI. I thought some very interesting elements. And I was reading briefly, and I was reading on Wikipedia about how they achieved some of that. But yeah, there was very three-dimensional moments. I think it was when the Batmobile was, I think it was rotating. They employed the use of CGI to really show it, to have it, appear as a very solid construct, very real machine. But yeah, it was a very good movie. Definitely very good. I need to get hold of the DVD, and unfortunately, because of its age, it is one of those harder to get hold of movies. I think it is on at least one PAL region box set of Batman the Animated Series. I think it is included as a bonus, and I think there was a double or triple feature of Batman movies which also contained it, but I think that was NTSC only. If you download VLC, it is free software. You can basically defeats the region encodings. You can watch NTSC region movies with a PAL machine. So that's just very handy, free tip for you. Yeah. Hello? Yes. Okay. I will be sued by Sony, Warner Brothers, the Fox. Or yeah, that's fine. Okay, bye. I'm trying to make a video. Can you go now? Okay, bye. Okay. No, you hang up first. No. VLC is very good software, which I do not condone in any way whatsoever. I wish people would stop bringing it up. Stop bringing up this software. Honestly, you should be ashamed of yourself. So it is a really good movie. I need to see Mask of the Phantasm now. I've not seen that since childhood either, I'm pretty sure. So, the net is closing in on the DVDs, and I'll put some money aside and try and get hold of as many of them as I can. So I need to complete my Batman the Animated Series collection. They've released some on Blu-ray, so I may go for the Blu-ray, because then I'll have some on DVD and a complete collection on Blu-ray, because I think on Amazon.co.uk, Batman the Complete Series, which may or may not contain one or two movies, is something like £43, which is pretty cheap. Think about all the episodes and potentially movies, and it's Blu-ray upscaled somewhat. I'm not sure of all the technical details, because obviously it was produced long before Blu-ray, long before high definition, I believe. But they've done some sort of upscaling, I guess. But yeah, 43. Well, actually, it depends, because you always get these debates on YouTube. It's just the same on Amazon. I think some people are saying, "Oh, they've not upscaled," and then someone was saying, "Oh, it is upscaled." So I have no idea what. If do not quote me. It may or may not have been upscaled, but it should be, pretty good quality at least. And for £43, that's you're not paying for the upscaling. You're paying because it's a brilliant show. If it has been upscaled in some way, that is a great bonus. So, yeah, I think Superman the animated series is hovering around £46. You may hear my stomach rumbling. I need to try and boil some pasta. Our microwave stopped working. It blew a fuse and tripped the electric, so we have no microwave. So I may have to boil some water and pour it into a container. Why I'm telling you about my potential diets for today, I do not know. But yeah, I thought you might like to know. I thought you would like to know these things. I thought we were getting along fine. Well, that's fine if you don't know what to do. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to say, yeah, Dragon Ball. So season 4, 5, 3, and 2, but presumably for season 1 as well. Brand new, okay, brand new. They're hovering around £13, £14.97 for season 2. But season 5, 3, and 5 and 3, £12.97, and season 4 with the old Piccolo on the front, £12.99. So less than £20 now. That was the standard price. Granted, like a decade ago, but still, obviously the episodes do not expire a decade later. It's still the same quality show. So that's a bargain. Less than £15 per season. So that's really good. So now is a good time to snap up the seasons before they increase, before this print run finally expires, if it has not already. But back to Batman. Okay. Superman the animated series, £46.07. That's pretty much what I said. Am I good or am I good? So that's the complete collection for £46. That's a bargain, I think. It's a great show. Batman the complete animated series Blu-ray, £42.70. Amazon.co.uk. Obviously, it could be cheap outside of Amazon. We have to remember to shop around, but that's really good. That's a great bargain, I think. £42.70 for such a brilliant show. Or Batman the complete animated series DVD format, $29.99. Again, that is a brilliant bargain. But anyway, let's look at the Blu-ray. Does it include any movies? Because, well, you never know on Amazon. So people will claim different things. Batman Beyond, aka Batman of the Future, the complete series Blu-ray, $39.99. That's really good too. But it doesn't include the movie Return of the Joker, which is so hard to get hold of because it has had a very limited print run, I think. Here we go. The complete series of Batman the animated series includes 2 bonus discs of films, Mask of the Phantasm and Batman and Mr. Freeze Subzero. So if you grab that whole series for £42.70, you also get the 2 movies. So that is really good value. That price may not stay present for too long. So you may wish to snap it up if you can, but let's check. I don't see why it would not include it. Yes, it does. It does include it. This makes no sense. I swear I checked the other week and it didn't. Hence, I was going to eBay and other places looking for NTSC versions of Batman Return of the Joker. But it says here, 6 disc set includes all 52 episodes, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and 2 brand new special features. So it does contain the movie. What? I swear it's Amazon. The people, they just give you such a headache. You think, okay, I'm committed to buying this, but I should do a bit more research, or at least read some reviews. And then some delinquent comes along and says, it's a shame it doesn't include the movie. And then you second guess it. Then you're thinking, right, I'll have to go to eBay or something. Yeah, someone mentioned the movie. Okay, someone here is saying Return of the Joker is not in HD, but is included. Therefore, it's a point of logic. If they're saying it is not included in HD, then it must be included, because otherwise they'll just say it's not included, or they would not mention it at all. I already owned the UK compatible SD DVDs released back in 2006 2007. I did not ask for your life story. They were repackaged at least twice with a bonus disc with Return of Joker. Some later episodes have reportedly been upscaled from a video source rather than film, but still look fantastic when compared to my older DVDs. This is a warning to UK customers describing the minor failings of Warner Brothers Home Entertainment UK. Oh, here we go. What have they done? I like it when people people clearly are more qualified than me give some expertise on the upscaling or downscaling or mid-scaling or up, down, left, right, shake it all about scaling. No UK digital copies. Well, I was not expecting any, but I know there was a trend to do that with DVDs and Blu-rays. But Return of the Joker. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Okay, now I remember. Yeah. Return of the Joker is the edited TV version and is on a DVD rather than a Blu-ray disc. Well, that's interesting. I didn't even put it on Blu-ray, but within the Blu-ray set. But okay, now I remember. No, the difficulty was finding the edited version. So for the uninitiated, and spoiler alerts, slightly, there are no two ways to go about this. So cover your ears, okay? A truly traumatized Tim Drake ends up shooting a Joker. I think in the edited version he is somehow electrocuted because that is less terrifying than being shot. I don't know, but I suppose it appears less direct, and they're not saying a child killed in adults and blah blah blah. But hang on, how do they handle the whole traumatized thing? Because that is in the edited version. So you're allowing that to happen, and that is like the most disturbing part of the whole movie. But anyway, but I understand why there is censorship. I have a funny relationship with guns because I'm very anti-gun, extremely anti-gun, but I think they can have an appropriate use in media if you're very careful with the messages and if you're showing the dangers of guns and so forth. So I'm not sure that I would be in favour of removing guns entirely from media, because maybe in the future, but while we still live in a world full of guns, it is important to show the dangers of guns and so forth. But yeah, anyway, Tim ends up shooting the Joker and killing him. So in the edited version, it is slightly different. Spoiler alert, slightly. So yeah, so that is one way to get to the edited version, which is still great. It is pretty much the same film, but at the same time it is very different because of that very important change. So no, the NTSC version is where you get to the edited version. So I do still need to buy from that eBay listing, I think, where it is the unedited version. I think for £3-4. It was not incredibly expensive, but so I need to grab hold of that. Then when I buy the Batman of the Future box set, I will have the edited version on the DVD as well. So yeah, the edited version is easier to come by, at least in the UK, than the unedited version. So yeah, just to clarify that. Let's go and see what our Amazon friend is saying again. Blah blah blah. This same person bought Return of the Joker on German Blu-ray disc. If he wants the film uncut, then he imports either the entire 2019 American version of this set. That would be expensive. Or you can buy, or is in capitals, or you can buy a German import of the film in capitals only, and shove that damn Blu-ray disc. This is how this person is talking. In your UK Batman Beyond, hang on, you made the point of saying, blah blah blah, I'm not sure if this rises to a level of being false advertising, but it certainly felt pretty close to it when talking about it's stating Batman Beyond instead of Batman of the Future, even though it is a UK release. And now you're saying in your UK Batman Beyond, UK is Batman of the Future, unless you mean UK version of Batman Beyond, which is Batman of the Future. But no, I think it would be more correct and more pedantic for me to say UK Batman of the Future. So I'm going to tell you off. Anyway, this person says load of nonsense. Uh, Stop calling me. Or you can buy a German import of the film only and shove that damn Blu-ray disc in your UK Batman Beyond / Batman of the Future. Terms and conditions apply in place of the SD DVD, as I did. Good for you. I'm not sure why we needed to know all of this, but no, this is actually helpful. This box set does not include the uncut in capitals Return of the Joker animated movie plus, wait for it, the edited in capitals, SD in capitals, DVD in capitals. There was no digital copy. So anyway, yeah, that was very interesting. Oh, this is interesting. This person is really interesting with what they're saying. The 2002 uncut in capitals American Standard Definition DVD was coded to play in the first 4 domestic SD DVD regions, 1 to 4, so as in PAL as well, and was therefore an NTSC UK coded compatible disc. When do you ever hear NTSC UK together? That is interesting. It has been repackaged many times over the years, however not every time. The uncut American 2011 Blu-ray disc is region 3. So basically they're saying some of the earlier copies would actually play in a UK DVD player. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But yeah, okay, very helpful. A lot of shouting, but never mind. Very interesting. Yeah, and he's given a link to another version. So that is very helpful because I was trying to find and did manage to find a link from where I could purchase the unedited version. But yeah, so Batman and Mr. Freeze, back to you. Before I think we got a bit sidetracked there. Where was I? Tony Blair said 10 years too late. Where was I with my Road to Domination? Where's it gone? There it is. Yes, it was a 1998 direct-to-video animated superhero film. I'm not sure why I'm reading the first line of Wikipedia, as though it says adding new information. But yeah, it is a very tragic movie, and it is heartwarming to see Mr. Freeze, granted a villain at this point, clearly, seeing that his dream was at least completed, and perhaps a lesson to him that construction and not destruction was needed, because Wayne Enterprises clearly saved the day relatively effortlessly. If they'd worked together in the beginning, Nora could have been revived sooner and with less tragedy and harm, and not needing the kidnapping of Batgirl, as in his mind he felt it was needed. So yeah, it's very interesting. And spoiler alert, Mr. Freeze turns up in Batman of the Future / Batman Beyond, and there he dies, it is assumed. Again, very, very sad. He was fighting, what's his name, the glowing chemical guy, I've forgotten his name, glow, something, I've forgotten. But anyway, and the icicles and all of these frozen constructions are falling, the buildings collapsing, and Terry, having been trained by Batman to have compassion, he's trying to save Mr. Freeze, but he blocks him. He freezes him out. For once, using his powers not to harm, but to try and save Terry. And he says, "Go, only you care," which is very sad. He has that painful realization that this is the only person who cares. His world has collapsed. Nora has moved on. She has a new life now, and yeah, it is very, very sad. But yeah, there is really great, grand even storytelling within the world of Batman, the animated series, and this continues with Justice League, and it is a really great show. I definitely recommend it. I do recommend unplugging your telephone before you start making videos, because otherwise the copyright police will start calling you. Do you know they flagged one of my videos because I used Babylon 5 content? They did not give me a strike because it is clearly in fair use. I was waffling for like 6 hours and I played 5 minutes from Babylon 5, so you cannot say that I was being unreasonable. But they said, and I think there are no restrictions on it. They just put copyright notice. They just wanted me to know that they are watching me. They're obviously their machine, their algorithms or whatever detected the content. So yeah, it was my passing through Gethsemane video, by the way. In case you would like to watch it, out now on DVD and Blu-ray at all good bookstores. Bookstores? That's a bit strange. Anyway, all good DVD stores. But yeah. So it is a very good movie, very good. It was funny because as I was preparing to sit down and to talk, I was looking for my jumper. I was, putting on more layers, 3 layers now, because it is so cold. So I was getting warmer in order to talk about getting cold, i.e. Mr. Freeze. Interesting, because the temperature's really plummeted. I can feel my bones freezing up. So now now may seem like the least appropriate time to watch a film called Subzero, but I recommend that you persist anyway. And what about people who have never seen Batman the Animated Series? If you've never seen it, then I understand from your perspective, £42 may seem like a big commitment. You could buy single seasons for cheaper, but if you feel you have the money, go for it. But perhaps go to YouTube, look for some clips on YouTube if you have access to YouTube and an unlimited data plan or internet service, or if you can hack into your neighbours. I never said that, and I will never say that. She, of course, misheard me. Do not do that. But if you can borrow somebody's broadband, that could be good, or use your own. And look for some clips, and you may be able to get a sense quite early on of regarding whether or not it is a show you would like or may like. But it is important to challenge yourself and persist. Entertainment is a really funny thing, particularly in this very, very polarized world where I'm not making puns, by the way, when I say polarized. You behave yourself. Where it is so extreme. It is not just I only watch things I like. It is what was I going to say? My brain's freezing up due to the cold. I was so sleepy. I am still so sleepy. Bear with me. I cannot even get this a coherent sentence going. But for some people, it is not just I like this show. And therefore this is all I'm going to watch. There has to be an immediate liking. There has to be. It is just so wrong, and so they never learn. They are stuck in an echo chamber, and they do not like different opinions. I mean, the amount of times I go to a YouTube video, somebody is rightly saying, "No, I do not like this show," or whatever, and somebody obviously leaps onto their back and says, "Well, if you do not like it, why are you commenting?" Do you just It's said so casually, and you're just thinking, you do realise what you just said. You're saying that only people like a show are allowed to comment. Only they have the right. I'm not sure if they realise how dangerous it is, what they're saying. Only you are allowed to comment. We are not allowed to debate shows. I mean, gosh, imagine if I went onto an EastEnders video and the acting is awful, but I never said. Don't call me, okay? Don't call me, BBC. Don't call me. Sorry, I've unplugged my telephone. It was never plugged in anywhere, of course, but I'm sure you knew that. There's not even a battery inside. I'm not even entirely sure if it is a working telephone. It looks like one, but anyway, it kind of looks like a toy too. A bit like me. If I went onto an EastEnders video and said I'm not a fan of this, it does not matter why you're saying it, or you still have that right. There's this assumption that there has to be a certain point. So it doesn't even have to be a point to what you say. Is that what we are doing? Are we saying that you are only allowed to speak and air your view if it belongs to some philosophical debate or something? Well, that's the whole cast of EastEnders. Whoops, not allowed to. All of the actors in EastEnders banned from speaking. That's for sure. Phil Mitchell going around headbutting people. I mean, when has he ever said anything clever or witty or half witty or droll or whimsical? That's EastEnders out. That's Coronation Street out. Just due to its dreary theme tune. I mean, that's the antithesis to life. So that's Coronation Street. Emmerdale, I think that's some good storylines, but I cannot remember. But the theme tune is probably boring, so let's throw that into Room 101 as well. Are we saying that we're only allowed to comment if we like something? That is so dangerous, and that just exacerbates the problem entirely. Everybody is allowed to comment whatever they want. I can go on any video responsibly and say, I'm not really a fan of how you're reviewing chocolate bars. I just thought you'd like to know. And of course people would jump onto that comment and say, why are you commenting if you don't like the bloody video? Why are you watching? Well, we do not, or certainly we should not be watching things just because we get, this brings me back to the original point I was going to make, because we're going to get gratification or feel we are guaranteed it, or we're going to get a certain kind of gratification. Sometimes, and as I say, links with my main point about Batman. Maybe you're not a fan of Batman and maybe never will be, but you may still get something out of it, something educational, or you may not like the show or the voice acting, but you may be attracted to the animation. It may inspire you to become an animator, or it may not. It doesn't have to be tied with a job prospect or a passion or anything. It is like a contrast. On the one hand, there is too much thinking going on at the immediate level, I suppose. So it creates a crashing of the system. So everybody's firing off these stupid sentiments, to be quite frank. So it's a war. It's all very tribal. But at the same time, nobody's putting enough thought into these things. It's a contrast. It seems to be both. So people are, it moves people further and further away from constructing dialogue and learning and teaching and debating, and it just keeps everything so dangerously polarized. I mean, and as I say before, it is a blessing to be told that you are wrong. I mean, imagine that person who cares. They truly care. They're not saying to you, "Oh, well done, this is brilliant. Whatever you do, it is brilliant." Like the hopeless people such as Jacob Rees-Mogg and Nadine Dorries, who still salivate at the thought of Boris Johnson entering a building. They just pat him on the back, and they're making sure he stays in that childlike state. Nobody's approaching him and saying, you know what, you need to grow up. You have failed terribly. Imagine if someone cared enough for you to say, look, at the risk of upsetting you, I truly care about you. I need to help you. You are doing something dangerous, or on the less extreme. And have you thought about making a video like this? Have you thought about this may be a upsetting trigger for people? Let's talk about this. Everything is, for some while, it has just been replacing one sentiment with another. So people, and it goes back to what I've been saying in a more general sense, people are just exchanging words but not actually talking to one another, and there's such a big difference. So it is all very static. It's like a video game, a very simplistic video game in a sense, or a simplistic part of common video games where it's like if you're learning a language, it's this word is hi, and followed by how are you respond with etc. So people are responding logically on a superficial level, but it's not actually responding emotionally. They're not actually talking to one another properly. They're not actually being open, and debating. Instead, people are exchanging words, and so if you put it into a textbook and say there's somebody who's learning English, you sit them down, and obviously this problem is not confined to our country, it is a problem world over, but if you have somebody learning English, they can follow the logic and they think, oh, that's how you communicate, but there's no actual communication going on, because there's nothing behind, or there is the wrong kind of emotion behind the words. So it looks, even to English speakers, a lot of them, that's an actual dialogue is being constructed, but it isn't. It's shocking, and if you've not realised it already, you really will, find yourself quite breathless when you realise it is happening daily, day after day after day, in your life probably, with people you speak to. It is just empty words that are designed to trigger a set response, so there's no actual openness. It is just formulaic, very, very formulaic. There's less of the chaos of freedom of thought and such. Even if free will is but an illusion, there is that illusion of free will. It has been, it's been eroded away. So people not actually stopping and using their brain, or would it be that they're using their brain but not using their mind, their psychological self, or is it that they're using their mind only and not using their brain? I think it is in some level. So if you think of the mind being on the outer level slightly, so they've created this padding to protect their brain, maybe in some cases due to extreme anxiety and other stress responses and stuff. So there's this padding to protect the brain. So the words hits the mind and do not go to the brain. So there's this sort of self-defense, this guarantee, if you say this, I will say this, then you will say this, and so forth. There's a rhythm, but it is a mundane and dull and frankly pointless rhythm, because nobody is actually talking to one another. People are just exchanging words, which, when printed in a textbook and the non-English speaker looks at it, it looks as though someone is speaking. You think, oh look, hi, how are you? I'm fine, thank you, how are you? It all makes sense, but there's no actual conversing going on, if you see what I mean. There is no actual conversing, and it is so dangerous, and we see the dangers day in and day out, and this YouTube harassment thing is but one example, where you are effectively only allowed to leave a comment if you like a video. You're not allowed to share your thoughts and about it, perhaps being negative or something else. It is really shocking. It is very worrying. It makes you very worried for the future, considering where we already are. It does not bode well. So what can we do to bring back the conversation? What can we do? Well, highlighting a problem is always the first step. So speaking out, like I am now, and maybe you are, then you have to reach people through attractive strategies which have them engage with your idea and reconsider. You have to address the concerns. Why was this sort of padding created in the first place? What are they afraid of? Obviously it goes back to insecurities, the old struggle of humans. People are essentially insecure about something, so they lie, they cheat, they steal, they try to restrict conversation and freedom of thought and so forth. Anyway, that's probably enough for this video for now. I've not been watching any more Ancient Magus Bride. I think because I wanted to do summaries of previous episodes and then do another live watching. Maybe I will today. It is 3 p.m. precisely. This is the 22nd of September 2023. I had to move a lot of so I was again delayed. Another delay was due to having to free up some space because my hard drive filled up again. I freed up so much space moving things to an external drive. I had something like 140 gigabytes free, seriously, and this morning I had something like 4.8 gigabytes, 4.8 something free. So I shifted some things and I have a bit of room now, but I have to be careful I need to buy some more storage as soon as possible. But yeah, I've been working on categorising the evidence for the supported housing Birmingham City Council corruption scandal. Needs up folders. Because it's difficult because some evidences are on the local disk internal storage and the rest is on the external storage, the majority, so it's really difficult. That causes so many problems. For one thing, you do not want your external storage to be plugged in all the time, so you're going to wear through the technology and potentially corrupt data or lose data outright. So I'm trying to be as streamlined and as efficient as possible, but most of the evidence is on external devices, so that is awkward. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I know how to do this, I think. But yeah, so then I'll be in touch with Michael Gove's department and continue to demand that the administration, Birmingham City Council is now in, expands to look at the corruption, or a new administration is created to look into this, and obviously for other cities and towns the same needs to happen. But yeah, it is a long battle, to say the least. Anyway, try to keep warm, but keep warm by watching a good movie such as Batman and Mr. Freeze, the Subzero.